So is this working well? So I should tell you. At first. So what I have to tell you at first is my name and the name of my podcast. Anyway, so what I'm talking about is it was a kind of a review for my podcast. Anyway, so hello everybody. I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So recently, I'm tired of ordinary or always. So I got tired of ordinary manner or usual manner of my greeting. Or I'm tired. I was tired of. So my usual manner of greeting in every episode of my podcast. So which is why so recently I'm changing my manner of greeting. So which is why I began to tell you some extraneous stuff other than just saying. So hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So anyway, so maybe, but actually for now or so far my trials have failed. But actually, so thinking about the fact that I'm using a non-native language, or I'm a non-native speaker of English language. So to start with, the fact is that I'm a non-native speaker of English language. But actually, taking that fact into consideration, so I may be permitted. So which is a feeling I have. Truth is. But actually, so. Anyway, so I have to tell you something meaningful. I hope it's meaningful. So I'm thinking of telling you something. I'd like to tell you something meaningful to you. I'd like to tell you something meaningful to you, but actually, so. And one of the reasons why I'm really bad at speaking English is that so I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and another stuff is that each individual has their own special preferences of podcast, for example, so which is why it's really difficult for me and for other creators of podcast to create some meaningful episodes or some meaningful stories for the listeners. So which is why maybe I have posed or I have put out as a really a difficult problem. But actually, I don't think I can solve that difficult problem. And the problem is that it's like people podcasters podcasters should create meaningful stories, but actually creating interesting stories or meaningful stories is really difficult. It's really a difficult task, or it's really difficult. Such a thing is really difficult. So which is why so I don't think I can perfectly or completely solve that problem. But actually, thinking also the fact that or another fact is that there are some favorable or so blessing listeners or kind or gentle listeners who chose my podcast for entertainment or for some kind of use or some kind of usage. So which is why I should appreciate you for your choosing this podcast for some usage. Anyway, so I have fully digressed, or I have fully taken your long time. So which is why this time the title is a declining population really bad? And the conclusion is, essentially speaking, a declining population is not so bad. The problem is that the population keeps decreasing, or falling. You should not make extraneous worries. So which means what I'm going to talk about this time is that the population of this world, or the world population, which I think is a words for explaining the entire topic of this episode of my podcast. So first of all, anyway, I should tell you the world population, and anyway, the world population is 7 billion and 962 million. I don't tell you further digits of the world population. That is because I don't like to be identified by any of you. So which is why I'd like to make this number of the world population blurry. So which is why but I still want to give you some piece of information. And the recording time of this podcast is July in 2022, which I think is a piece I can give you, which I think is a piece of information I can give you, so that I can avoid getting identified by somebody else. Anyway, maybe the late July in 2022, I think, is a correct explanation of the recording time. Anyway, what matters when it comes to when it comes to the declining world population. So for now the population of this world is keeping increasing, but actually every moment some people are born, or some babies are born, or some people bear some babies, which is why every moment the world population is increasing, which I think is a correct explanation when it comes to the entire world population. But actually, for example, I live in Japan, and which has a declining population, which means every time the population is decreasing. Of course, for example, if you live in a developed country, you may say that that is the case to your country. For example, in the case of among many developed countries, to start with, there are many developed countries, but actually, among such many or large amount of developed countries, and I think there is an exception, which is France, I think. Please imagine the fertility rate. Well, please imagine fertility rate. So I'm sorry for my clumsy explanation, but actually, thinking about the fertility rate, and there is a replacement line, or there is a replacement number, which is it is set. The replacement number is 2.1 or 2.007, or around there is a replacement line of population in the fertility rate. If you don't know, if you have no idea about that number, that fertility rate in this episode, fertility rate is that the number of children. That is a number of children gotten by or born from a woman. How to calculate is that I'm sorry, I have instantly paused, but actually the manner of calculation is that there is a woman who bears or who gives birth to some number of children, or some quantity of children. If she bears 2 children, or if she gives birth to 2 children, the fertility rate is 2. And of course each country has their own average fertility rate. And in this case, the fertility rate is the average number of average number of children given birth by a woman. For example, I told you that there's a woman who bore, or who gave birth to 2 children, but actually not all women can give birth. I'm sorry for that accidental noise, but actually not all women can give birth to two children, or not all women can bear two children, which means there are some women. The fact is that some women can bear three or more children, but actually some women can bear also, some women can get only one child or a lone child in the case of some households, and still other cases is that there are some women who do not marry or who do not get any children. So, which is why summarizing such numbers of children of or gotten by all the women living in a country. So it's possible to draw a average fertility rate, or it's possible to calculate an average fertility rate. So in the case of this country, for example, the number is around 1.4 or 1.3, which is the average number of children gotten by or obtained by a woman in this country, which means roughly saying, one Japanese woman can bear or one Japanese woman can get one or two children, which is a normal case, or which is the ordinary number of children in the case of my country. So description is finished. Description about fertility rate is finished. And so the next is So anyway, what I want you to think about is that if you think that if you think about the declining population of developed countries, if you think about low fertility rates of your countries, that problem may sound like something negative, or lower fertility rates. In most cases, lower fertility rates mean bad problems, or really severe problems in negative ways. But actually, what I want you to know is that what I'd like you to know is that lower fertility rate itself has some benefits. For example, to start with, increasing population is a huge problem, and why that is a problem is that the amount of the resources this planet has is limited. The population increase the population increase is related to the resource of this world, or of the earth. Which means, for example, please imagine that there's a limited number of, or limited quantity, or limited amount of food. For example, please imagine food, or the amount of food on the earth. So if the population of the earth decreases, you can get more food, which is a merit of declining population. So please understand. Increasing population has a merit, which means if the population of a country increases, that country can get more laborers, or more working people, or more workers, which is a merit. But actually, there is a demerit in increasing population. So one of the demerits is that, one of the disadvantages, or one of the downsides of increasing population is that having more people means having more consumptions of food. And for example, another case is that large amount of people, or larger amount of people consume more oil, or more natural gas, or more electricity anyway. Which is a downside. Which means, what I'd like you to know is that if the population of your country decreases, you can get more food and more oil you can consume freely. Well, not freely, maybe. You can get more oil or more natural gas or more electricity. So, available to you. So you do not have to consume them. But actually, so if the amount of the resources your country can get is limited, there is such a limit of, or there's such fixed amount of resources your country has. So in such a case, decreasing number of population can be advantageous, because the less population or smaller population means you can get the more resources you can get. Anyway, so explain. I think you could understand. I think you can understand. Well, I think you have already understood what I wanted to tell you. So that is because thinking about the fact that you are listening to my story, maybe you are really a smart person. So which is why I don't think I have to give you more explanation. So which is why I wrote this conclusion, which means, the conclusion was, essentially speaking, a declining population is not so bad. The problem is that the population keeps declining, decreasing or falling. You should not make extraneous worries. So so I have read a news which says that the world population is going to decrease in the future. The world population. So maybe that news said, in a year in the future, the world population is going to cease to increase, and so there's a point in the future that the whole world, the population of the entire world is going to decrease. But actually, so naturally thinking, so as I have told you, decrease thinking about that, decreasing population has an advantage, or has an upside. So so you can get more food, or you can get more natural gas, for example. So or you can get more available natural gas. You do not have to all of them, but actually you can get more available gas by decreasing population, or by smaller population. Anyway, so but actually, so what matters is there's another matter, or another factor that so well, how should I say it? So what I'd like you to imagine is that there has to be some maximum population this planet can accommodate, or can hold, or can take care of. So what I'm saying is that so as I told you in the beginning of this episode, the world population is maybe 8 billion. Anyway, roughly saying, maybe you should think, so truth is the world population is 7.9 billion, or and of course you have, and the world population has more people than 7.9 billion. But actually, roughly saying, it's possible to find the world population 8 billion. But actually, so how should I say? But actually, this world, or the Earth, may be able to afford to hold or take care of, for example, 16 billion, for example, so which means, so if this world can hold or take care of or protect, for example, 16 billion people, or 60 billion humans, or 20 billion humans, so it's fine to keep the populations of our countries increasing. So which means, so in such a case, increasing population is no problem. But actually, so if the world population reaches, for example, 16 billion or 20 billion in the future, which means, so if the world population reaches some limit, or the limit this world, or this planet can hold. So if there is such a limit, and if the world population reaches that limit, so that is a problem. So which means, so human beings have to decrease their own numbers or their own quantities, which means for example, this is an extreme example, but actually, some people have to massacre some large amounts of people, which means in the type situation, the world population has reached 60 billion. So which is why, but actually, that is the limit of the earth. So which is why some people have to die. So anyway, which is what I'm talking about. But actually, so maybe you could understand it. Maybe you have already understood what I'd like to tell you. But actually, if that's the limit of the earth is, for example, for example, 4 billion. So which means in such a case, this is another case different from the former case. But actually, in that case, which means the limit of the population, if the limit of the world population is 4 billion, for example, the limit has already been exceeded. So which is why some people have to die, or thinking about the fact that the world population of this time is 7.99 billion or more. Roughly saying 4 billion people have to die anyway. Because the limit has already, the limit of the earth has already been exceeded, because the limit of the earth is 4 billion people anyway. Which means what I'd like you to know is that it's necessary to specify, or it's necessary to find out the limit of the world population, which is also what I'd like you to think about. So anyway, which is why keeping decreasing is really bad. As I wrote in the description column of this episode, keeping declining, having the population keeping declining is really bad. So you may lose, or your country may lose some necessary number of workers or laborers. But actually, just slightly increasing population is fine or acceptable, which means you can get more food, or you can get more resources. But actually, keeping increasing itself can be disadvantageous, because more people means more resources are going to be consumed by those increased number of people. But actually, if there's a limit, and for example, if the limit of world population is really high, exceeding the current number of people or the current population, so in such a case, it's fine to make the population keep increasing, or keep surging, for example. So it's fine to it's fine to create as many as children as women can. All over the world. But actually, where is the limit population, which is what I think is necessary to find out, or which is that limit of the world population is what I think is necessary to be specified. So I'm thinking of ending this episode, but actually, the title of this episode is a declining population really bad? So, it's essentially speaking, a declining population is not so bad. The problem is that the population keeps decreasing or falling. You should not make extraneous worries like which, maybe you have seen, or you have read, or you have watched some news about low fertility rates. But actually, I'd like you to think. What I'd like you to think about is that what is the essence of the low fertility rates, and what is bad in declining population, or what is good, or what is bad in increasing population of the entire world. So which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.